Long before St. Halomir ever stood, where the river bends and the willows weep, there was a kingdom that glittered like glass in the sun. The kingdom of Manzpoucio. Its streets were paved with polished stones that caught every ray, throwing prisms across the faces of the bustling crowds. Market squares swelled with life. Vendors called out their wares, bright banners snapped in the warm breeze, and musicians' melodies wove through the air like golden threads. Children chased one another under the watchful eyes of nobility, and the aroma of fresh bread mingled with spices carried from distant lands. But beneath this shimmering surface, shadows clung like a second skin. At first, the unrest was barely perceptible. Shopkeepers whispered in hushed tones about taxes that grew heavier with each moon. Husbands grumbled over debts they could not pay. Neighbors eyed each other warily, nursing grudges from generations past. The noble houses, once bound by blood and duty, watched each other from behind gilded curtains, their eyes sharp and cold as cracked glass. Petty crimes began to thread their way through the city like a slow poison. Coins disappeared from tills, fruit vanished from carts, and knives were drawn in alleys only to be slipped back into belts before anyone noticed. The market brawls became more frequent, a fist here, a pushed merchant there, and soldiers were stationed at harvest fairs to keep order. The air in Manzpoucio grew taut, like a bowstring pulled to its limit. Winter came earlier and harsher with every year, but the cold was nothing compared to the growing chill in hearts. Laughter, once free and sparkling, grew brittle. Smiles that cracked and fractured under the weight of whispered resentments and secret fears. By the king's 10th year on the throne, the city after dusk was a different world. Streets emptied early. Lanterns flickered nervously in windows. A nobleman's daughter was found battered in a secluded garden, her cries swallowed by stone walls. A baker, driven to desperation, set fire to his rival's shop in the dead of night. Merchants shuttered their stalls behind armed guards. The kingdom's spirit, once a radiant flame, now flickered weakly beneath a suffocating gloom. Whispers said the air itself had changed, as if the kingdom's shining beauty was but a thin veneer stretched over rot and ruin. The city's smile hid a festering wound, and with each passing year, which wound bled darker. Then, one bitter winter, the king's scholars claimed to have found a cure, a ritual to cleanse the kingdom of its poison.